and we're back with Mental Health Monday, guys. Understanding post-traumatic, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as post-traumatic stress disorder, which most of us are more familiar with. I'm very excited to share this with you guys. Here, let me turn down this volume on my Zoom real quick. Okay. All right, so I'm very excited to share this with you guys because a lot of us, we battle, we battle either with anxiety, we battle with past traumas, or even current trauma. So, with that being said, there's all different types of therapies that a lot of us may know of or we may not know of, and so we're gonna dissect this book as we've been continuing to do it. This is like our fifth week, I believe, in. We're starting off with EDMR therapy, so let's hop right into it. It says eye movement desensitization and reprocessing (EDMR) therapy developed by Dr. Francine Sapiro is a comprehensive approach to therapy that integrates elements of several different therapies. EDMR therapy is structured to treat PTSD by identifying triggers, memories, emotions, beliefs, as well as sensations. So it relies on the concept with the sufficient support that you'll have the capacity to process and digest traumatic events. As a result, you'll be able to get self-critical beliefs, or you'll be able to let go of self-critical beliefs and painful emotions. So seeking to understand EDMR therapy, right, and all these resources to accommodate us and to use to our advantage to be able to manage our trauma, right, or our anxieties or fears or whatnot. So we're going to go over the 8-phase treatment model. It says EDMR therapy uses a treatment model split into 8 phases, right? The initial phases prepare you to process the trauma by identifying memories and the negative beliefs associated with them. So, keyword, identifying traumatic memories, right? Seeking to understand, how did this happen? When did this start? What do I feel like when I think about this, right? That's what comes to my mind. So it says, when you review your history by taking a look in depth into your symptoms, for example, feelings of insecurity are understood to be symptoms that are rooted in historical experiences. The desensitization phase incorporates the use of dual awareness state, in which you are asked to remain aware of your present moment experience while simultaneously recalling memories of the traumatic event. So, dual attention is amplified by using simulation in the form of eye movements, buzzers, or tones that alternate between the left and right side of your body. Later phases of EDMR therapy focus on strengthening positive beliefs. So, which is very important, right? We gotta, when we're battling with these thoughts or we're battling with our past trauma, right? It's important to have different resources and tools to use as reinforcement, right? To propel us forward instead of to hold us back, right? Or to keep us going through that insanity that's easy to go through. So, resources for EDMR therapy based trauma recovery. The the preparatory phase of EDMR therapy involves building resources to be able to attend the frightening and sometimes overwhelming trauma related memories. These resources include a safe place. Here you identify a place that is either real or imaginary and where you feel safe, allowing your body and your mind to have a reference place that supports your relaxation and ease. So, the first part is safe place. The second one is containment. Have you developed and imagined? It says here you develop an imagined container, a place or an item that is big and strong enough to hold painful thoughts, feelings, and memories. The container is meant to be used temporarily during times when you are not actively engaged in processing your traumatic memories. So whatever that looks like to you, when I was reading that, it reminded me of just like a jar, just putting your thoughts in a jar. Like, let's say you're upset, you're really mad. It's like, here's a jar. I'm gonna write this down. I'm angry. Boom. I'm put that inside the jar, and I'm gonna close it with the lid. Right. Just putting a stop to a lot of the things that can increase our trauma or our hypervigilance. Allies. So this is very important. This is exactly why we're here. Um, have you identified, imagined, or real beings that you associate with uh, nutrients, protection, and wisdom. Allies can be people, animals, or spiritual or religious figures. So mine happens to be my emotional support dog. It also is this book, right? Because it's gonna give me the resources to continue to manage my complex post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as to seek to understand it. And if you think about it, guys, people fear what they don't understand. So that's why I'm very big on seeking to understand, because I don't want to fear anything, right? Especially due to the lack of ignorance, right? Especially we got every opportunity to learn, so that's what we're doing. Future installation says EDMR therapy is not only processes past events, but also identifies the necessary positive beliefs to facilitate greater choice in the present. For example, one individual no longer holds the misconception that they are unlovable. They can begin to develop and integrate a new positive belief that they are worthy of being loved. In practice, visualizing a safe place is a primary resource, because that safe place will best allow your body and mind to release the effects of stress and trauma. Think of a place that evokes a feeling of safety and peace, a place that can be a real place you have been, a scene from a movie, or something entirely imagined. Some people choose favorite settings in nature, such as sitting near an ocean or by a stream. Some people choose to think about a pet or a loved one. It says the main consideration when developing safe place imaginary is that it truly feels safe for you. Here, you can use your senses to enhance your imagery. What do you see? What do you hear? And what are the smells? When creating a safe place, imagine you may notice the need for refinement, that is, your thoughts, or I'm sorry, when creating a safe place, imagine you may notice the need for refreshments, that is, your thoughts that can get in the way. For example, one woman's peaceful place was in a wildflower meadow. During her visualization, a lion entered the scene, interrupting her feeling of safety. When disruption happens in your safe place, it is actually a signal to create reinforcements to strengthen your feeling of safety. In case we added a wall around the meadow and placed guards to ensure that no invaders could enter the meadow. You can enhance your own visualization by adding protectors, bringing in nurturing people, or placing animals to act as allies in your imagined safe place. So, again, mine is my emotional support dog. Mine personally is my God, because Jesus is bigger than my trauma or my complex PTSD. I don't know if you guys, who are tuning in are practice your faith or whatnot, but if you do, remember that God is bigger than all of our battles. That's why we're battle strong. Now, with that being said, it says take a few minutes to write down your own safe place visualization. It helps to imagine your safe place on a regular basis to strengthen your ability to connect to this positive feeling as needed. So if you're at home, you don't got to go get a pen and paper right now if you don't want to, but just visualize why we're going over this, a safe place, or think about where's the most safest place that you've ever been, that you felt safe, that you felt heard, you felt protected, or whatever it is. The safest place that you've ever been. I want you to imagine that. And remember, when the lady closed her eyes and was imagining like the whole sunflower field, she her PTSD, right? The trigger, the hypervigilance, past events, she thought about a lion, like, oh, that fear, that feeling of fear came in, and what she do? She visualized guards protecting and then a whole fence around with guards. So that way it can stop that, oh, there's a lion that can come in and attack me while I'm trying to feel safe, right? That's very important, guys, because for those of us that have PTSD, you're always hyper vigilant, right? And a lot of us don't feel safe all the time. So it's nice to be able to seek to understand how to feel more comfortable in our own skin. Somatic therapy. This is another type of therapy, guys. I don't know if you heard about it. This is one of my first times actually diving in and hearing about it, so I'm excited to share this with you. Somatic modalities are therapy approaches that focus on the body rather than the mind. Therapies such as somatic experiencing, developed by Peter Levine, and sensory motor psychotherapy, developed by Pat Ogan. Engage body awareness to the release that psychological and physiological impact of trauma events. Reasoning and logic, draw reasoning, I'm sorry, reasoning, reasoning and logic alone are seldom sufficient to treat trauma. When exposed to frightening experiences, your breath quickens and tension builds throughout your body. To process trauma, you need to breathe and move. However, our culture tends towards stillness in the face of trauma. It says when body awareness is not included in trauma processing, you inhibit your ability to work with your innate healing capacities. Somatic awareness or awareness of your body sensations can teach you how to gauge your body's feedback so you can recognize when your traumatic past no longer holds power over you. And I want to read that one more time right there. Somatic awareness, right? Because that's what we're talking about. Somatic awareness or an awareness of your body sensations can teach you how to gauge your body's feedback so you can recognize when your traumatic past no longer has power over you. And I think that's very important, right? Because if we don't seek to understand, then we're always going to just think exactly how we feel, and that's not always true, right? So somatic awareness, what does that look like? Somatic psychotherapists invite clients to be curious about body sensations, mindfully staying connected to the body in the midst of powerful emotions or sensations that help clients regulate and respond more effectively to emotional intensity. It says simply bringing awareness to physical tension and breath patterns begins the process of healing. Again, simply bringing awareness to our physical tension, right, and breath patterns begin the process of healing. So I think breath work is very important. Shout out to my friend Melissa Robinette. She was just telling me about somatic therapy and breath work and stuff like that. And she's actually been working with this. So maybe I'll have her on the podcast here soon and we'll be able to talk about her experience. Now, I don't know if she has PTSD or complex post traumatic stress disorder, but she did just recently let me know, somatic therapy is something that she was into. So I'm really excited to learn firsthand from it. Now, sequencing. It says sequencing refers to the movement of tension out from the core of your body throughout extremities. It says it can be involuntary, but it also can be facilitated through mindful movement, such as following an urge to move something. Sequencing is helpful. It allows releasing of tension patterns related to freeze, fight, or fight responses in the body. It says sometimes sequencing occurs as visible trembling in the arms or legs. All other times it is experienced as a movement pattern as seen in Julie's story. So Julie had a history of childhood sexual abuse. As she discussed her past, she felt the impulse to crouch and bend over. Mindfully, she curled into a tight ball as if she was hiding. After several minutes, she felt a desire to push her arms in her and kick her legs. She slowly engaged in these self-protective movements. Once she returned to stillness, she described a new feeling in her body that was both empowered and calm. Grounding. Grounding refers to your ability to sense your body, feel your feet on earth, and as a result, calm the nervous system. So it says this concept sits at the heart of your somatic psychotherapies. Grounding is a key resource for trauma and emotional overwhelm. Your senses, such as hearing, smell, seeing, tasting, touching, are tools for anchoring yourself in the present moment. And so, working with parts, treating complex post traumatic stress disorder often involves parts work as a way to understand avoidance, intrusive, and distressive symptoms, often referred to as ego state therapy. This approach to healing recognizes that you develop different parts of yourself to hold unwanted or unacceptable feelings and memories. Ego states the ego states are often parts that reflect your younger developmental phases or your life related to traumatic memories. This is why you might sometimes feel like a wounded child or rebellious teenager. It says parts can also represent an internalization from your family or origin. For instance, you can think of an inner critic as an internalization of a critical parent from a childhood. It says many therapies work with the parts of healing processes. So let's take a look at the internal family system, also as IF or IFS. So if you guys see that abbreviated, IFS stands for Internal Family Systems, which was developed by Richard Schwartz. He identified 3 kinds of parts. So let's go over them. Exiles. Exiles carry the burdens of trauma. There are parts of yourself that cut off from the conscious awareness as a way to distance yourself from the painful memories, such as emotions, rage, dependency, shame, fear, loneliness, or grief. Often these parts feel young. The next one, so the first one was exiles. The second one is managers. So managers attempt to protect you from vulnerable feelings by staying in control. They tend to be overly rigid and self-critical or rely upon heavily prescribed roles such as planning or caretaking. So exiles, managers, and firefighters is the third one. So firefighters act out in order to repress exiles as they attempt to emerge. This part employs substances, self-harm, disassociation to distract you from underlying emotional vulnerability. So the goal of IFS, in other words, internal family systems, the goal of internal family systems therapy is to develop your relationship to the self, which Dr. Schwartz describes as the core, right, of who we are, the core of who we are. So when you are living from the center, you actually have the capacity to be calm, confident, and compassionate. It says the self is your own source of wisdom or inner knowing. When you reside in the self, you are able to regulate other parts of you, allowing for an internal felt sense of trust, harmony, as well as connection. So, how you doing, Brian? Appreciate you for tuning in, brother. So, in practice, guys, so we went over EDMR therapy. We went over somatic therapy, right? Somatic awareness, what that looks like, sequencing, as well as grounding, right? So, this is the in practice, it says a body scan is an essential tool that helps us develop our somatic awareness. And so let's explore this guided tool. So, find a comfortable seated position on a chair or cushion that you can maintain for the next several minutes. The aim of this practice is to cultivate awareness of your body without judgment. It says, as you read each set of instructions, take a moment to tune in to each area of your body, increasing your awareness of your sensations and the experience. So, you guys can practice with this at home. You guys can practice with this at home. I'm of course I'll read it out to you guys and let me know if this works. Okay, so remember, get in a seated position. It says first, bring your attention to your breath. Make space for whatever you are feeling, including any areas of tension, heaviness, or constriction. It says now bring your awareness to your feet, your legs, your pelvis. Notice the sensations in your muscles and on your skin. Now, next, take a deep breath as you bring your attention to your torso, becoming aware of your sensations in your abdomen and lower back. Notice your spine and any sensations across your chest or upper back. Now, bring your awareness to your shoulders, arms, and hands. Notice any areas of tension or relaxation. Last, bring your attention to your neck, throat, and face. Notice your eyes, your mouth, and your tongue, and the general sensations of your head. As you complete your body scan, take a final minute or moment to notice your body as a whole. Write down some notes about your experience. The body scan initially functions to help increase your awareness of your body's tension patterns. With this awareness as a foundation, you can choose to deepen your curiosity about your sensations or use relaxation techniques to release holding. For example, if you notice tension in your shoulders, you might amplify the sensations by lifting your shoulders a little higher toward your ears, right? A little higher towards your ears. Now squeeze your shoulders up and notice how you feel the increase of tension. What areas arise? What thoughts are you aware of? Next, constantly let your shoulders go. Notice the contrast. Now, what are you aware of? So it says it's helpful to repeat the body scan regularly to strengthen your body's awareness as a guide for healing. So if you guys did that exercise, I was thinking as I was reading it and trying to do it with you guys, that they're right. That's something that we should do daily. So I'm gonna write that down. Let me see. Where's my pen at? I'm gonna write that down. Full body scan in the mornings. So why not we do the so when I say the full body scan during the daily devotions in the morning, for you guys that tune in on Mondays for Mental Health Monday, you guys know what I'm talking about. So when's the perfect time to do a body scan? You might think, right? Probably in the mornings when we're looking at ourselves in the mirror, right? Or when we get up in the mornings and we pray to get our mind right or whatnot. Whatever works for you, right? So I believe that's where we're gonna end today. That's where we're gonna end today, guys, because it kind of talks about another topic. So next week, guys, we will be going over. We're still in the same chapter, but we'll be going over. It's called complementary and alternative medicine. So I'm excited to get deeper and deeper in this book, guys, as we continue to learn these tools from resources, how to manage our post-traumatic stress disorder as well as complex post-traumatic stress disorder, right? Understanding trauma. And so I'm very grateful for this book. Shout out to Ariel Schwartz. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder workbook. I'm pretty sure you can get this on Amazon. A mind-body approach to regaining, I'm sorry, to regaining emotional control and becoming whole. So by the end of this book, by the whole end of I Am Battlestrong 101, guys, again, we're growing mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, intellectually, Monday through Sunday, y'all. So I am Battlestrong 101. Tune in. Most days we're live at 5, but I am an insurance broker, and so I actually have an appointment at 6 o'clock. So I'm running, these in between my appointments. So they won't be at 5 o'clock every single day, but I try to get them, you know, in between my appointments, guys, because it's important to me. This is part of my growing process. And I'm so happy that you guys join in. So I'm going to end off in prayer real quick. Dear Lord, I come to you right now and I pray for anyone that might be battling spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially, anyone that's battling with their trauma and they're trying to figure out, like, how do I get rid of this trauma in my life? How do I manage it? What do I do? Who do I talk to? Where do I go? How do I find resources to understand what's going on inside of me? God, I thank you for these resources to help us manage our trauma and understand it. That's the most important part, is seeking to understand our trauma. But when we come from a spiritual realm and we look at it from a spiritual realm, then we understand, God, that the battle has already been won. We understand that the traumas that happen in our life, whether the past or present traumas, they're not as big as you, God. And yes, that does not discredit the trauma that exists, but it also doesn't discredit how big you are and how merciful you are and how gracious you are. So I thank you for being an awesome God. I pray for any children, women, or even men, that are battling with trauma. I pray that you help us find and continue to build this network, and have a safe place for us to seek to understand our trauma, to have a safe place for us to talk about our trauma, and at the same time be prayed for and find those resources to help us manage our trauma and bring us longevity instead of being stuck in insanity, God. So thank you for winning the battle, and may we continue to battle strong. Amen. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your Monday. I got to get ready for the 6 o'clock appointment in 20 minutes. Again, thank you for anyone that's tuned in. Another day is always another opportunity to battle strong. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning for tomorrow's daily devotional. And tomorrow we will be going over entrepreneurship. So, the accidental entrepreneur. 50 things, it says it right here, 50 things that I wish someone had told me about starting a business. So, if you're a business owner or aspiring business owner, this class is definitely for you. Again, tomorrow we'll be live at 5. And yes, right now I don't have any 5 o'clock appointments or any appointments during that time for tomorrow. So I'm going to try to keep that space open. So another day is always another opportunity to battle strong. Y'all have a great day. Appreciate you, Brian. God bless.